Oh, yeah. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. We are back. Like we told y'all, you can listen. You can count on them boys from Three Kings to do what we say we'll always do. We are back, and we are back for this edition of the show, breaking down the fights, making our predictions, and of course, talking shit. And as always, it's just comedy. Of course, always joining me, my man, the ATNIC Prodigy. What's going on, family? Prodigy.
I said word up for I was on mute. I ain't realize I was on mute, man.
You pulling up on moment, nigga. You done got that new house and you done became complacent. I need you to go back to the hood, nigga.
Man, look, man, I'm over here doing 17 things at one time. What I was trying to say was, for all you bitch ass niggas out there that's about to get mad at this prediction that we about to put out there, because Kaz gonna get mad, dog. You already know it. There's a whole lot of fans that are pushing on both sides. So we're going to get a whole lot of hate tonight, bro. But it's okay, because we're going to tell you what's about to happen, man. So you either listen or don't listen. But them niggas going to get all mad, get in that fetal position, put their motherfucking thumb in their mouth, and start sucking. That's what's about to happen tonight, dog.
The fetal position, dog.
Hell yeah, that's what's about to happen, bro.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Shout out to Mama Denise. She in the building. She said, "What's up in these streets?"
Mama Denise is in the building. Respect the OG.
That's right. Jay Davis said, "We in these streets."
My man, J.L. Davis is in these streets.
And Kendrick Taylor said some shit. So, let's get
I'll
That
tell
nigga been
everybody what it
fucking with
says.
me, nah, dog. That nigga been fucking with me on Twitter, dog. Simply because I interviewed a Philly fighter. Okay, nigga. All right.
Yeah, he went off. He was going off. So was Eric. Somebody else went on the show and was like, "It's funny to see Bo interviewing a Philly fighter. Everybody knows about the let him down Philly. What's good, 2K? Shit over here chilling, man. Hey, man, what you about to do? Nigga, I'm about to go to Philly because I got some niggas I gotta let down." And look, what did Paul Kroll do after the interview? What did he do?
He almost
Let us down.
He almost did. I called him right after that fight too.
Shit, talking about the let him down Philly curse, man.
I called him after that fight. Well, that's why he said he wanted to fight Granada. He said, since you've been fucking with me, because we were off air, I was fucking with him. Said, you know, you from Philly. You know, y'all got a history of fucking up, right? You got a history of fucking up. No, you know that, don't you, Paul?
Exactly, bro.
So,
exactly.
all right, man. 2K, man, you got any fuck? I don't, because last time I got ahead of myself, and I've learned my lesson.
All right, man. I wasn't gonna do this, man, but I gotta play this shit, man. Y'all all know who Cameron the rapper is, right?
Oh,
you know, there was two different types of Camerons. There was a Cameron that used to spit real lyrical. Then there was the Cameron that did this shit.
Screw truth with a bowl of Fruit Loops. Switch the Raisin Bran, cause I heard it was two scoops from Winnie the Pooh to Mr. Magoo to Yosemite. Sippity doodah, skip to my loop. Hickory dickory, boopity bepto, bibbity bobbity. Boo, you who, I scares you. Have a yabba dabba, doodah day with Nebuchadnezzar. Kumbaya, kumbaya. Roses are red, violets are blue. Little Miss Muffet. Sat on the tuffet, I was tying my shoe. Minding my business, that's all I was trying to do. I was high on glue, eating pie at the zoo. All of a sudden, Humpty Dumpty, he sat on the wall and splattered his skull. I witnessed it, that was my dog. If I could turn back the hands and give him change for that 20. But I spent it on funnel cake, it was making me hungry. Oatmeal was better than no meal. Mink coat, made out of roadkill. Bubblegum, bubblegum, bubblegum in the dish. How many bubble gums do you wish?
That nigga said bubblegum in a dish. How many bubble gums do you wish? Man, Cameron pissed me off, man, when he stopped doing the whole Cam with the Children of the Corn, Big
Killer
L,
Cam.
Murder Mace. Yeah. There's Killer Cam and then there's fucking Cameron and shit. What y'all saw was Cameron. You know what I'm saying? Nigga said bippity boppity. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet.
No, 2K. What killed it for me was that pink ass shit he had on his head underneath that cap. Did you see that shit?
That's what Cam was doing all the time. I don't know who that nigga is, but he did that shit perfectly, dog. Cam used to wear pink mink and shit, dog. The nigga, what movie was that, dog? State Property? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it might have been him, Jim Jones, all them niggas.
He had a pink exhibition. The whole fucking SUV was pink. I can't remember. I think it was State Property. I don't remember what movie it was. But they called themselves rolling up on some niggas all in pink with a pink SUV and a pink doggy name. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Let them down, Philly! Street still proving is in the building. That's what I'm talking about, man. Bo, what you got for us today, man? Got a big ass fight this weekend, man.
All right, man. Do we go into the fight first or do we go into the topics, man?
Going to the topics.
All right, well, fuck it then. So
make y'all niggas wait on them predictions.
Right, hell yeah. So yeah, let's go call your homies and tell them get in the room.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. So as always, y'all know how it is. Of course, go to Three Kings Boxing, like we always tell y'all. Bob Arum's kind of dropped the bomb, and I don't think motherfuckers realize it, right? So y'all know that y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know the story. Tyson Fury came on. You know, it's wild to Wilder don't want to fight. You know, his team changed the July date. I don't know how they could change the July date when COVID-19 was coming. I mean, the world changed dates, but I bet. And then he said, Wilder team changed October. No, Tyson, you and Bob was talking about some y'all wanted fans in the stands. You want to fight with fans. I bet. But Bob says, this is what he says, and this goes back to what 2K said. Tyson, not that he didn't want to fight because he was afraid of why. He just felt it was a meaningless fight. Bob said the networks, ESPN and Fox, told them December 19th is not going to work because they got football, then they got the NCAA championship games. People be watching TV all day. It'll hurt the pay-per-view. Change the date. They gave them January and they gave them February. Now, mind you, they gave them these dates before the time ran out. And before anybody try to argue and say, no, wait a minute, Bo, hold on. We were told during that week they were scrambling to reschedule the fight before the time ran out. So they gave him January, February, and Tyson like, I'll pass. I'll pass. I'm fighting December 5th. Fuck Deontay Wilder. So when Deontay Wilder plucked this nigga from obscurity and everybody was telling Wilder, I don't know about Tyson, man. And Wilder's like, nah, I'm going to fight him. When Wilder even went to one of his fights and to promote that fight, Wilder fights him. No rematch clause. Wilder said, fuck it, I'll rematch him because it ended in the draw. Tyson agrees to the rematch. Bob comes along, pulls the old, you know what I'm saying? The old top rank, you know, that old Bob top rank shit. Hold on, Tyson. No. Don't go into the rematch. Let me build your profile. Tyson pulls out, has 2 fights. Wilder waits for him to have 2 fights. Say, all right, man, go ahead, nigga. I'm going to spot you 2 training camps. Fuck it, go ahead. And then still fights him. But when it came time to reciprocate that, Tyson gave Wilder the finger. 2K. What do we make of this, man?
I don't make shit out of it. Just like I said, Tyson Fury. I mean, you did way too much fucking explaining for me. We already said Tyson Fury felt like this was a meaningless fight, so he ain't trying to fight the nigga. It is what it is. Hey, man, I can't get mad at Tyson Fury for that. The first fight, he got robbed, in my opinion. The second fight, he knocked the nigga out. I mean, to be honest with you, if I'm Tyson, I'm like, damn, nigga, you want to get your ass beat for a 3rd time? That's my thought process. When, you know, Deontay Wilder would have exacted that rematch clause, I'm like, damn, you really want to get fucked up for a 3rd time? All right, let's do it. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, you know, my mindset is like, nah, man, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to fight the nigga again. For what? You know, I get some ducats or whatnot. There's a cat that came on the show, the last show we did about this. He said, hey, man, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder made $7 million at the gate. So why wouldn't he want to fight him again? I didn't respond to his comment yet. I got busy and shit, you know, clipping my toenails. But at the end of the day, what I was going to say was there's no reason. The nigga's not going to get a $7 million gate during COVID-19. That's not going to happen. So the $7 million that they got before COVID, that's not going to happen today. And it's not going to happen if they fought in December, right? They're only filling the fucking stadium up like 20%, if that. So if they're filling it up 20%, you can knock off 20% off that $7 million gate. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, you know, they're not going to get the kind of money that they think they're going to get. It's the whole reason why Bob Arum wanted fans for this trilogy, right? So at the end of the day, with Tyson Fury saying, fuck it, I don't want to fight him a 3rd time. I can go try to fight Anthony Joshua. I already got my damn my 2-fight deal in principle with him. They can have it over there in the UK. It looks like the UK is going to have a fuller stadium of fans, or at least they're going to get closer to that than America is. You know what I'm saying? So they get more money over there in the UK. Matter of fact, they would have got more money regardless of COVID-19. If this shit never even happened, Tyson Fury makes more money fighting Anthony Joshua in 2002 in the UK. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for Tyson Fury with him saying, I do or I don't want to fight Deontay Wilder. You fight him, you get some ducats. That's going to be less money than Anthony Joshua, and it's probably a sure win. Or you don't fight him and you still get the Anthony Joshua fight and get those same amount of ducats. Don't really fucking matter, man.
My only issue with it is, though, Tyson should just came out and said, listen, y'all, I just want to go a different way, and trying to make it seem like the bullshit he was spilling about how, oh, man, they asked for a different date in July. No, they fucking didn't. Just come out and say, listen, man, I think this is meaningless. I'm finna go get a bag with them. But then on top of that, it does seem fucked up to me because this dude did give you a chance. And when it came time for you to show that appreciation back, you said, fuck him. Now, at the end of the day, and this is where I tell people, this is why I said, you know, Deontay's team, now Frank Warren's talking about something, yo, man, they might take this shit to court. Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, this is why we was telling y'all the motherfucker shouldn't have been quiet all this time. He was quiet. All this whole time Deontay was quiet. He shouldn't have been quiet, because if he's making noise, if he's talking, you'll have more people stand up and say, hold on, wait a minute, Tyson, what you doing is bullshit.
Exactly.
By being quiet, everybody thinks, well, shit, motherfucker must have want to fight anyway. Yeah, right.
Exactly. and you know, we're better. We think better than that, obviously, because we have a little bit more intel than the average fan does. But at the end of the day, bro, I agree with that. Exactly what you said, and that's why I'm not saying, oh man, he should show a little bit more compassion because Deontay Wilder gave a motherfucker 2 shots when he didn't have to. I'm not saying that because Deontay Wilder is not even marketing this fight. He's quiet as fuck over there twerking in front of niggas, man. That's what he's doing. So at the end of the day, you rather get a group of niggas and shake your ass in front of them than actually market a Tyson Fury trilogy. So fuck it then. If you're basically, it's like this, bro. If you get a motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you're training him, Bo, and he's saying, yeah, man, I want to be a boxer. And you start training this nigga, he's not putting no effort into it, right? What are you gonna do? Okay, fuck it then,
on his ass.
But he keeps saying, hey man, I really want to fight. I really want to do it. Every time you ask him, hey man, why aren't you putting effort into it? I am. I really want to fight. But you look at him, niggas not putting no effort into it. Eventually he's just gonna be like, well, fuck him then. That's exactly what happened here. Mm-hmm. They got a trilogy on schedule 3 different times. Deontay Wilder not marketed at all. 0. So fuck him. If he's quiet and shit and twerking and shit, nigga, then what the fuck are you supposed to think? That's true. At the end of the day, I mean, Tyson Fury don't got to be obligated to give him a chance if he doesn't even look like he wants the goddamn chance. Only thing he did was say, yeah, give him my rematch. I got a rematch clause, and then ended it right there. Never marketed the fight after that. So fuck it. I'm okay with Tyson Fury saying, fuck it, I'm out. Man, I don't even care if the nigga lied and said, man, Deontay Wilder, man, this nigga had 18 dates within 2 months. I don't care if he said that. We know it's a lie, but I wouldn't give a fuck. Why? Why wouldn't I give a fuck? Because Deontay Wilder ain't saying shit. That's why. Nigga ain't even speaking up for himself. Like, hey man, y'all niggas stop lying over there. He ain't even doing that.
Yeah,
So fuck it. Let Tyson Fury do what he got to do. Deontay Wilder can fight Bobo Jones, man. Fuck it. Might be better off for him to do that shit anyway, bro.
Well, I said a while back when Bob Arum's came out and said they wouldn't let Wilder have a fight in between Tyson fight. I said, yo, man, they should jump on that. Yeah. And they should have jumped on that. But at the end of the day, this is why we say that you should be talking. Hell, even right now, right? Because I even said, listen, man, his team, like they not even putting the narrative out, yo, man, Tyson full of shit. We fighting him because like they ain't doing a Shelly Finkel. When I hear Shelly Finkel voice, I'm sorry, I don't when he say something, I don't feel confident that that's what the fuck's gonna happen. You know, I'm just saying.
I don't give a shit. Man.
So yeah,
at the end of the day, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, it's on the wall. Like I said,
the rematch clause time expired. Right. Deontay Wilder still hasn't said anything. Shelly Finkel's like, come on, guys, somebody help me. I'm saying all I can, and all the media just keeps going the other direction. And nobody's saying nothing. Nobody helping a nigga. No. Heyman, of course, is sitting there with a toothpick in his mouth with 3 bitches on his lap. Like, I don't talk, fam.
Right, yeah. Hell yeah. Shit, what the fuck you want me to say? Like I said, so, if it's, like I said, Frank, Bob is under the impression that this shit might go to court. Now, whether it does or whether it doesn't, the bottom line is, y'all might agree or disagree. This could have been avoided if Deontay Wilder, he didn't have to, because he didn't even have to get belligerent. Just every now and then come out with something like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm in the gym training to beat that ass. Something. This dude, Tyson Fury, trolled him constantly. Hell, even the fucking trainer jumped in. This is the fist that gave Deontay an autopsy.
Hey, man, I want to see that autopsy report, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For y'all niggas that don't know, you had that dumbass motherfucker Marcellus Wilder talking about, the autopsy report showed that Wilder's head got dented. The nigga really put autopsy report back then. That thing's like 4 or 5 months ago. But I want to see that autopsy report.
So y'all might not like what we said. Like I said, I am looking at Tyson with the side. I like, nigga, you did the same thing to Vladimir Klitschko. But at the end of the day, this is why we say you should never let a motherfucker just constantly run their mouth and you don't respond. You can't do that. Why? Because especially when listen, boxing is the sport where when motherfuckers don't like you, it ain't about facts. It ain't about right. It ain't about the correct thing to do. It's about whether motherfucker like you or don't like you. Because motherfuckers don't like you, it don't matter about them facts. It's fuck you all the way to the end.
That's what it is, man.
You know what I'm saying? All right, man. So, hey, we gonna see what happened. But personally, the thing that's fucked up for Wilder, and I told it to somebody, right? Think about this. This is what's actually hurting Wilder. Think about this for a second. If Deontay Wilder loses by controversial decision, but it was a good fight, people probably be more inclined to see the trilogy. But when you get blown out like he did, well, nobody wants to see that. Richard Comey got blasted in 2 rounds. So even if Richard Comey had a rematch, everybody would be like, nah, dog, we want to see Teofimo Lopez and fucking Lomachenko, dog. You got blasted in 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also what's hurting him. Because of the way which is even more why he should have been talking. The way you got beat, fam, everybody's under the impression that, dog, we know your skills ain't gonna get no better, right? Who you are is who you are. You got blasted and blown out. What's the purpose of seeing this? Tyson Fury had that same thought process, man.
Absolutely.
You know? All right, man. The WBC, we be crooks.
Shout out to James Toney for that.
Man, listen, man. 2K. You know, I liked it. I got older. And I like to think as I gotten older, the world has changed. Corruption is not what it is. But how do the WBC tell us that the franchise tag can't change hands?
Man, whatever, man.
Can't be, but all of a sudden now they're saying yes, that can be like the winner would be undisputed. So here's my thing. I think Devin Haney, this is why you should never have apologized. Because you apologized to appease the WBC, and when they got a chance to say fuck you, that's what they did. I don't know how you didn't learn that lesson because they said it to you when they let Lomachenko fight Luke Campbell, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
You should up what Riddick Bowe did, and you should dig a hole, piss in the hole, then throw their belt in that motherfucking hole and bury that bitch because they just shitted on you. They just shitted on you. He basically said, well, Lomachenko's above you, so this can be for franchise. So he gave team whoever wins this fight, he gave them carte blanche to say fuck fighting Devin Haney.
I'm sorry, man. This shit's just funny to me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Listen, all that clout that Bill Haney be out in these streets, talking about that he got, you know, the nigga even talks with an assertiveness now, nigga. Like he talk like he a nigga with all this money and he eating caviar and drinking the finest champagne in the world and shit, got his pinky raised. Hey man, how you feel about Devin Haney versus Tank Davis? Well, you want to talk about Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis? It's actually an excellent fight. I think Devin Haney is going to be the kryptonite of Gervonta Tank Davis. There's a lot of things that Tank Davis can't do that my son absolutely. Get your ass out of here, nigga. Am I lying, Bo, or am I lying, nigga?
You're not lying.
This motherfucker act like they on some type of mountaintop where niggas just can't touch them, bro. But at the end of the day, when you look at what Devin Haney is doing, Yuriorkis Gamboa as his next opponent, right? You ain't even got to think about it. That right there gives you everything you need right there. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at what he's doing, bro, right? If you look at the situation he's in, who he signed with, the fights that are happening around him in his division, and niggas are just basically ignoring this motherfucker, right? What in the hell has Bill Haney and Devin Haney done, right, to even warrant any of these guys to give him any fucking attention? Besides talked a lot of shit on social media. What has he done? Beat Antonio Moran? Okay, I mean, he's the first nigga to knock out Antonio Moran. But I beg the question, who the fuck is Antonio Moran? You see what I'm saying? Ooh. You had opportunity to fight Javier Fortuna, who is a formidable opponent. And granted, he said, hey, man, I looked for that fight. Fortuna didn't want to fight me. He was going in a different direction. Bet. Fortuna was trying to fight Jorge Linares. That fight fell through. Then he became available again. Why didn't you go back and ask for that fight again?
Yep.
Didn't do that, right? Luke Campbell wanted to fight. Didn't explore that either. Now Luke Campbell's getting ready to fight Ryan Garcia. Yep. Ready to put his ass on the line. But if you would have went to Luke and said, hey, Luke, I'll fight you, bro. You get an immediate title shot. Why? Because you fucking deserve it, dog. You've been around for a long-ass time. You're an Olympic gold medalist. You ain't got to put your shit on the line fighting no goddamn Ryan Garcia, a nigga that's on the come up. You ain't got to do that. I'll give you the title shot. You're a formidable opponent. I need a good name on my resume, right? You're ranked in the top 3 by the WBC. Let's get it on. He didn't do that.
Nope.
Even though they were supposed to fight, and Vasyl came in and took his spot and fought him anyway and got the WBC title. Well, now that Devin has the WBC title and fucking Luke Campbell's ranked in the top 3, he could have easily given him a title shot. Didn't do it. Instead, he said, hey, you know what I'm saying? Give me that nigga Yuri Yorkis motherfucking Gamboa. Yeah, nigga, that motherfucker. Yeah, I like that fight, man. I like that fight. Bill Haney like, hey, man, you like that fight? They both talk the same. Hey, man, you like that fight? Bill Haney, yeah, man, I like that fight. These niggas out of here, man. I'm just saying, listen, man, I was all for Devin Haney when Bob Arum came out and said, yo, this is when Devin Haney was ranked number 1. Vasyl Lomachenko was a WBC champion, right? Had the real WBC belt, not that franchise shit, right?
Yep.
And Bob Arum came out and said, why would we make that fight? It's a meaningless fight. Means nothing. I was like, Bob Arum, what the fuck is wrong with you? You need to stop drinking all that blood, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You stop drinking all that blood, man. That's most definitely it's a meaningful fight. But I digress. Ever since then, Devin Haney has not shown that he actually wants to make those bigger fights any goddamn way. He's actually content talking a lot of shit, boosting his social media profile, and then fighting Antonio Moran and fucking Yuri Yorkis Gamboa instead. He couldn't even make the Gary Russell fight.
Nope.
Couldn't even do that. I mean, the Teofimo Lopez was in the mix for a little bit, but that fight couldn't get made. Right? Rightfully so. Teofimo ended up getting the negotiation right with Vasyl Lomachenko. So they said, man, fuck Devin Haney. I'm about to go back over here. But that was when they were on the rocks. And it looked like Lopez and Lomachenko wasn't going to happen. He was talking shit to Devin Haney. And apparently Devin Haney, Eddie Hearn said that he had a contract written up for Teofimo Lopez to fight Devin Haney, which didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, I don't like how they're basically ignoring Devin Haney. I fucking hate how they're ignoring Devin Haney. But at the end of the day, Devin Haney's not really doing much to boost, his marketability and try to attract these fighters in his direction, bro. He's not doing it. He had 2 opportunities, Javier Fortuna and Luke Campbell, and he didn't take them. Instead, he chose Yuri Yorkis Gamboa. So at this point in time, hey, man, he dug a hole from himself. He's got to get out of it. Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Daniela Hernandez said, in these streets.
Oh, shit. In these streets.
You forgot to say we. You got to say we. That's all right.
Hey, it's all good. Shit, we get it.
Yeah, right. Most definitely we get it. Listen, man, one of the biggest things, and I said this before, what Devin Haney should have did when he came back and the WBC gave him that belt. First off, I'm going to say it one more time. He should never have apologized. He didn't say nothing racial. It was disrespectful because he called him a boy, but it wasn't racial. But if he was going to go there, you go all the way there. Like my man Prodigy said, he should have said, okay, yeah, I said it. Now find your best one, put him in the ring with me.
Exactly. Go find the best white boy and put him in the ring. Yep. At 135 is who? Vasyl Lomachenko.
Yep. Yeah, I said it. I'm not apologizing. So you find the best one, put him in the ring. Yeah. Because apologizing, it got you nothing. It got you nowhere. You was out here trying to talk tough to Devin Haney. Oh, Mr. Captain, everybody was telling you, hey, man, sit your ass down. See? And we told you that, right? But when the WBC gave him the belt back, because Luke Campbell, Javier Fortuna was going to fight for that belt.
Yep.
WBC gave him that belt back. I said then, Devin Haney should have said, hey, 3 contracts. Campbell, Fortuna, Linares.
Easy work. Line them up. He can make all of those fights, Bo.
Yep. He should have said, hey, I need 3 contracts. Campbell, Fortuna, Linares. Boom.
Instead, this nigga said, I need 3 contracts. Antonio Moran, Yuri Yorkis Gamboa, and Ben Affleck. That's what he said. and then add Matt Damon on there if I beat Ben Affleck.
Yeah, right. Yep. So, like you said, man, I hate to see what they're doing to him because it is fucked up what's going on with it right now, right? It is totally fucked up what's going on with it right now, okay? The WBC played the shit out of him. Played him. Because they say, oh, the franchise tag is just a tag. It don't mean nothing. You're the official champion of the division. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Technically, he had the title and we elevated him. So he's over Devin Haney. So now that he's fighting, yes, we're going to throw a belt in there and make it part of Undisputed. Now, keep in mind, Devin, you know why they doing that? Money, sanctioning fees. The WBC got to have some type of representation in this fight to get PAI fucking D. So they chose that paper over your black ass. Lesson learned, brother. Lesson learned.
Yep, exactly. The guru in the building, he said Antonio Moran about to fight in a few. Yeah, he fights tonight. I think you're going to lose that fight, matter of fact. I think you're going to lose that fight, man. All right, man, I'm going to add somebody to this shit. We got my man Mike Wilson. He's in the building, writer for Three Kings Boxing and the host of Pound for Pound Boxing Report on YouTube. What's good, family? Oh, he can't hear, man. See,
Mike, don't be shy.
Look, the nigga scared in the motherfucker. Hey, Mike, hide the white girl, man. We got to get hide the white girl, dog. Bro, that nigga said, get out of here. Margaret, get out of here. On the show. These are all black guys. These are all black guys. Get out of here.
Oh, man. I don't know, Mike. He'll come on. I don't know. Mike, do you have your, because Mike same age as Bo. I wonder if Mike had his what you call it muted. Didn't realize it.
It looked like it was muted. We'll find out. He'll come back on.
Yeah, he'll come back in here. All right, man. Now that we got that out the way.
Oh man, about to go down, bro.
Now that we got that out the way. All right, 2K, let's go ahead on. Let's break this down. Let's break their hearts. As you guys already know, you got Vasyl High-Tech Lomachenko versus Teofimo the Takeover Lopez.
But first, we ain't about to do that just yet. We're going to make them wait even longer, bro.
Okay.
Hell yeah, nigga. We making them niggas wait, bro. We ain't about to do that yet. It's actually a good-ass card. We're going to break down the card, the undercard first. So, just picking up a couple of fights. You got Arnold Barboza Jr., Alex Salcedo. You got Josu Vargas, Kendo Castaneda. You got Edgar Berlanga versus, what's the nigga's name? Lanel Bellows, right? But then over in the UK first thing I want to do, go to the UK first. We got Lewis Ritson versus Miguel Vasquez. That's a decent fight. My problem with that is Miguel Vasquez is the former WBC lightweight champion. That nigga's an old-ass 33-year-old, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Remember, the nigga fought Canelo twice. And one of those fights was his first fight of his career. You know what I'm saying? This one, Canelo, his name was Saul at the time.
Yeah.
That's when Miguel Vasquez fought him. His name was Saul at the time. Also, man, Miguel Vasquez's last 10 fights, right? His last 10 fights, this nigga is 6-4, dog, in his last 10. And he got beaten by all prospects, right? Josh Taylor and Ohio Davis. Ohio Davis is still kind of a prospect. He's a contender, but he's still kind of a prospect. But Josh Taylor at the time was still a prospect. He was up and coming. You know what I'm saying? Then he lost the African cat through Lonnie Mabenga, and then he lost that Triple G protege. I can't pronounce his fucking name for shit, and I ain't going to try to.
I know you're talking about Juka Badzi.
Whatever.
Mike, what's that nigga's name? Mike, what's his name?
He don't know his name neither. Point is, nigga, this has been a fight that would have been good 6 fucking years ago. Because remember, Lewis Ritson got outboxed by Francisco Patera.
Yes.
And for some reason, by the way, Francisco Patera, I'm going to show y'all some fuckery in boxing. Francisco Patera beat Lewis Ritson, has won 3 fights since against guys probably in the same fucking categories the guys Lewis Ritson beat. I mean, I think he beat Patrick Hyland Jr., who's just as good as Robbie Davies Jr., who fucking Lewis Ritson beat, right? Yep. They're all on that goddamn European circuit any goddamn way. But for some reason, Lewis Ritson is fucking ranked in 3 of the 4 major sanctioning bodies, while Francisco Patera is nowhere to be found. And he beat Lewis Ritson. Hell, Lewis Ritson's ranked number 2 by the WBA. That's how high he is in one of them. But Francisco Patera is just nowhere to be found. Fuckery in boxing. Point is, if Miguel Vasquez was a Miguel Vasquez that beat Denis Shafikov, gave Denis Shafikov his first loss 6 years ago, he beat shit out of Lewis Ritson, man. What do you think about that real quick?
I actually kind of like this fight. I'm going to tell you why. Because you do have the old veteran in Miguel Vasquez. Now, 2K talks about something. Miguel Vasquez is one of those guys that you look at, and he is very inconsistent. You go out and you beat a prospect in Eric Bone, and then you lose to a motherfucking Argenis Mendez.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You go out, you beat Denis Shafikov, then you lose to Mickey Bay.
He got robbed, though. I didn't think he lost to Mickey Bay. That was a TNT robbery.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that was for the title. That was for the IBF title, right? So
yeah.
Right. Okay. So you lose that. Now here's the thing though. Lewis Richton, dog. Okay, he's been fighting on that domestic circuit. And the thing about the Patera fight showed me something. Awkward fighters, even though Patera outboxed him, but Miguel Vasquez is awkward. And Lewis Richton isn't exactly a silky smooth type of fighter his goddamn self. So this could be a fight where Miguel Vasquez just might sneak one in on us, man. All right. Lewis Richton ain't gonna throw no jabs. Lewis Richton's gonna keep his hands up, try to get in close to touch you and try to go to your body. Well, if you're gonna stay that close, the thing about Miguel Vasquez is, he does a little bouncing on the outside, but he's awkward. He throws punches from weird ass angles, and that can make a guy like Lewis Richton hold up on his offense. Go ahead.
It won't matter. He's too old. He's damaged goods. He's been knocked out twice in those 4 losses that he got out of those last 10 fights. He's damaged goods, bro. He's done. Lewis Ritson should beat this guy. If he doesn't, then Lewis Ritson needs to be knocked off the face of the earth. I'm just saying, as it pertains to boxing, straight up, take him out of all. He's number 2 by the WBA. I think he's number 20, or I'm sorry, number 13 by the WBC and number 8 by the WBO or some shit like that. Take him out of all them rankings if he loses to Miguel Vasquez, straight up. If he even goes to a split decision against Miguel Vasquez, take him out of all the rankings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, you know what? This should be a total domination. It should be. It should be total domination. But we'll see. Find out. I got Lewis Richton winning this fight, though, man.
Obviously. All right, man. Let's go to the next one real quick. We're gonna go to the card now, the top ranked card. Arnold Barboza is one of the more underrated prospects in boxing today, bro. He's so underrated that nobody talks about this dude unless he's fighting. Right? Mm-hmm. He has that effect. Like, for example, what's my guy's name? From Philly. I'm drawing a blank. The prospect from Philly at welterweight, nigga. Drawing a blank.
Philly, welterweight. Not Paul. Well, yeah, Paul Crawl. Oh, damn, Boots Ennis.
You talking about Boots?
Yeah, Jaron Ennis. So Jaron Ennis has that effect where he could basically be talked about regardless of him fighting, right? The motherfucker can not fight for like 8 months. They still gonna talk about Boots. You see what I'm saying? Arnold Barboza has to be fighting in order for somebody to be talking about him. And the funny thing is about that, he's not as good as Boots, but he's very technical sound. One of the more technical sound fighters or prospects in boxing, right? So he's getting ready to go up against Alex Salcedo, who has much more experience than him, has already have a world title fight under his belt when he got knocked out, or at least traded knockdowns and then lost to fucking Maurice Hooker. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Big puncher, good pedigree. What do you think about this fight, man? I'm gonna go to my man Mike Wilson first.
Right, sorry, I was on mute.
I'm about to. Mike, you better stop fucking with me, nigga. I'm gonna kick your ass off.
I like Barboza. Good height for the division at 5'9" from LA, Long Beach area. I think he only has 10 knockouts on his record, but he has keep honest power. I mean, say what you want about Mike Alvarado. It wasn't the fact that he got the win, it was the way he got the win against Alvarado that made me say, okay, this guy has something. His upcoming fight, the fact that they're going to put him on this card says something. Look, I know Salcedo has that record, but kind of glossy record. But I'm going with Barbosa in this fight. I think his skill set, I think his pedigree, which you mentioned earlier, 2K, I think it's going to be a little bit too much for Saucedo. I think he's going to beat him by decision.
Word up. Word up. Bo, what you think about that, man?
I think that nigga bitch and Trey Pittsburgh need to get the fuck out of here then. That's what I think. Get the fuck out of here then. If that's what you think, get the fuck out of here. Go on somewhere. What the fuck you listening to? I don't know where you saw that shit at, but you can take that shit on someplace, G. Coward ass motherfucker don't even want to show his face and shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Hey, I put it up there for a reason. Let him go, bro.
All right, man. But anyway, man, Arnold Barboza. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you why I'm picking Arnold Barboza. The Alex Saucedo that we saw against Maurice Hooker, who do you have in his corner in that fight, y'all? Abel Sanchez.
There it is, bro. God
Abel
damn.
Sanchez. Now he got rid of Abel Sanchez. He's trying to box a little bit more. But here's the problem. He's trying to box and he's trying to box at mid-range. Where Arnold Barboza is good at mid-range. This motherfucker throws the uppercut. He can throw the hook. He's vicious to the goddamn body. Now, I expect it to be a good fight because both of these dudes stay on the fucking center line. The thing that I like, that I think that gives Saucedo a chance is, I think when Barboza fought the cat by the name of, I think his name was Silva. He was coming in and hurt him on the center line. Silva caught him with because he was on the center line, caught him with a counter punch. Well, guess what? Alex Saucedo is the dude that will throw if you coming at him. He will let that right hand go. Sometimes Barboza can be off balance because when he's punching, his chin is too far over his fucking knee. So even when he lands, he's a little bit off balance. Why you see the second punch come kind of loopy like. And if Saucedo can catch him in between the punches, I'm expecting this fight to be a barn burner. I think that Barboza wins simply because he is the better fighter at boxing, while Saucedo is trying to learn how to be a boxer now that he left Abel Sanchez.
I agree 1,000%, man. This is going to be Arnold Barboza's coming out party. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have a good name, a good solid fighter, a guy that's fought for a title at one point in his career on his resume. At first, I mentioned that it would probably be a split decision, but actually watching more tape on Arnold Barboza, man, the dude is so technically sound, and Alex Saucedo can be one-dimensional to the point where I think Arnold Barboza might even drop him a couple times, man, en route to a unanimous decision. This should be an easy work for Arnold Barboza, even though it is a major step-up fight for him. But, yeah, I see him outboxing the shit out of Alex Saucedo. Like I said, possibly dropping him. Counter-punching is going to be ridiculous. Saucedo is going to be running into some straight right hands all night long. Might even get caught off balance. And like I said, dropped. Should be unanimous decision win for Arnold Barboza. His coming out party. And finally, motherfuckers can start talking about him. And finally, the IBF and the goddamn WBA can get with the program and start ranking this motherfucker, man.
Oh, yeah, that's travesty because there's cats with less fights than this nigga that's ranked higher than that. Higher. So
I mean, there's one of them I just mentioned. Sorry ass Lewis Ritson is ranked higher than him.
Yep, exactly.
All right, man, we're going to go on to the next one. Josu Vargas versus Kendo Castaneda. This is a pretty – listen, man, shout out to the matchmakers at Top Rank for this one. This is what Josu Vargas needs to be saying. Brad Goodman and fucking Bruce Trampler, because Kendo Castaneda is tailor-made for Josu fucking Vargas. If you don't know who Kendo Castaneda is, he's a cat from San Antonio, real good friend of the WBA champion, WBA regular champion anyway, Mario Barrios, right? They share the ring a lot and sparring and all that shit. They feed off each other. Kendo Castaneda was a guy that was coming up. People thought he was going to ride behind Mario Barrios as one of the top prospects in the sport, possibly, become a champion later on down the road, just like Barrios did, right? Problem with that is Castaneda had the good. Barrio had the goods. Castaneda does not. You know what I'm saying? Castaneda is not a bad fighter. What I see for him, he's just going to be a guy that's going to be giving prospects and top contenders trouble, but he'll lose to those guys, right? Just like he lost to, I think, what's the guy's name? Yomero Alamo or some shit like that. Undefeated Puerto Rican fighter. He was not ready for that fight. Got his ass whooped, took his first L. Then immediately fought Jose Cepeda. Jose Cepeda is one of the top fighters at junior welterweight. As we know, right? He just beat the shit out of Ivan Baranchyk, right? Now he's knocking on the door for another title shot. So he fought Jose Cepeda. Jose Cepeda whooped that ass. No problems, right? So Kendo Castaneda is going to be a guy, and this is why you see Josu Vargas, who's a prospect in the sport. That's why you see him getting ready to fight him, because he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be a decent name on the resume of these up and coming prospects and these contenders, right? Now, even though Kendo has more experience, he's a guy that even at 26 years old, I don't see him getting no better, dog. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Jose Cepeda, at the end of the day, speed and southpaws nullify anything Kendo Castaneda can do. If he's fighting orthodox fighters that aren't slick, maybe one-dimensional, he can get off. He can look really good. But if he's fighting against guys that are slick, got a nice jab, southpaw, right? They don't even have to have a blazing hand speed, but just mediocre hand speed. He becomes gun shy, doesn't know what to fucking do next. Josu Vargas is exactly that. He's a southpaw with very quick hands, and he can go to the body, and he puts combinations together very well. Not a big fan of Josu Vargas. I think he one of them cocky motherfuckers, man. He talks a lot of shit on, social media and shit. He markets himself. Nothing wrong with that, but I think nigga's too cocky for what he really can do in the ring. It's not that great of a fighter to me. Nigga, he keeps his hands low and shit on defense and relies on his reflexes like he's some Roy Jones Jr. type nigga, but his reflexes are just subpar, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, he get in a ring with a Regis program, he get knocked out the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Doing that shit with your hands down and moving your head and shit like you got these super quick ass reflexes, man. But his reflexes, like I said, scale 1 to 10, they're like a 5 or 4. So that's the bad thing about Josu. But at the end of the day, he's a southpaw, quick hands, and he brings the fight to his opponent. Kendo Castaneda has no chance, man. What do y'all think about this? Go ahead, bro.
Hey, man, you know what? Here's the problem with everything you said, because you said that my man Castaneda has experience. Well, some experience is either good experience.
Study what Jose Cepeda did.
Huh? Mike?
Go ahead, bro.
Okay, yeah. Some experience can be good experience where you take something from and you learn it, and some experience can be bad experience. When he lost to Alamo, it was a bad thing that they put him in there with Jose Cepeda. And here's the thing about that. I didn't see him learn nothing from the Alamo fight to where I saw something better or different in him when he fought fucking Cepeda. So now I'm looking at him going in there against that cat Joshua Vargas. Vargas is a volume puncher. Guess what? Your boy Castaneda, he's the type of dude that when you start volume punching, just like Cepeda did, he'll freeze up. He'll try to throw one punch at a time because he's not fast enough to keep up with you. He don't process it properly enough to try to keep up with you. You can keep this dude on the center line, just like you said. He's not going to move his head. He's going to be there. So if he was fighting a guy that wasn't slick, I would say he has a better chance. But I like this fight for Jose Vargas. Jose Vargas is coming on. He's starting to come into his own. He's starting to find that rhythm, starting to do better with finding his range, starting to do better with what to do when he get on the inside, moving his head and getting back and picking up a little bit on the defensive side. I think Vargas wins this fight. He may even win by knockout, man.
I don't like Josu Vargas, bro. I really don't. But you got to call it right down the middle, man. It's, like I said, this is an excellent matchmaking decision by Bruce Trampler and Brad Goodman, whatever his fucking name is. But yeah, this is excellent fucking matchmaking decision. And at the end of the day, Josu Vargas kind of reminds me of a Joshua Gurr Jr., a guy that lost early on in his career, picked up his career, putting a name back out there, getting up there in the rankings, even though he's unranked in all 4 sanctioning bodies, but he'll be ranked at some point, right? People are starting to talk about him a little bit more than they did before. They ain't gonna fuck around, fight somebody, and get his ass whooped. That's what's gonna happen. But it ain't gonna be Kendo, man. What do you think about this fight, Mike?
Study what Cepeda did and follow that format. You look at him with the beard and all, he looks like Luis Neri. But because he's a southpaw and because he's quick, his opponent, I don't think he moves his head very well. He's tall, but he doesn't use his height, in my opinion. And I make the Cepeda comparison because they're southpaws, and to me, he's a bit more athletic than Cepeda. He moves his head a little bit better than Cepeda, and the hand speed is equivalent.
Yeah.
Stay disciplined, keep your chin tucked, don't do anything stupid, and he'll have his way with him. This is a showcase opportunity for him, and he has it in him to take advantage of it.
Yeah, like you said, study what Jose Cepeda did. Even though he doesn't have the same kind of footwork as Jose Cepeda, Kendo Castaneda, like I said, he's already reached his peak. He has no potential, even at 26 years old. So just basically kind of mirroring somebody that has somewhat of the same base style as you, bro. Even though you don't share the same footwork, you should be able to do that, do the basics of what Jose Cepeda did and be able to beat this motherfucker with no problems, man. Shouldn't be no problems. All right, man. Last one before we get to the motherfucker. We're going to talk about my man Edgar Berlanga, man. He's coming back. A lot of people don't know who this cat is, which is astonishing. Dude is 14-0 with 14 KOs, all 14 of his knockouts in the first round. All of them. No opponent has lasted longer than, I believe, 95 seconds or something like that? Something stupid like that, right? He's ranked by the WBA at number 11, WBC at 31, WBO at number 9. For some reason, the IBF be on that fuck shit, man. Always on that fuck shit, dog. We just gonna leave the nigga out, you know. Right. We don't really like him, motherfucker, like that. Shout out to my man Sporting Advantage. He put $5 on it. He said, "We in these streets." Word up, family. We all up in these streets with these predictions, dog. So he's fighting a cat by the name of Linnell Bellows. And if you look at the nigga kind of looked like Vaughn Alexander and kind of fight. He looked like a mix between Vaughn Alexander and Ishe Smith and shit. Just a little darker skin. And the nigga fight like Vaughn Alexander, right? He's got 5 losses, 3 draws, and I don't give a fuck about how many wins because he's a journeyman at the end of the day. But he's never been knocked out. This is the only reason why this fight is somewhat intriguing, because we're trying to see if Linnell Bellows be the first motherfucker to make it out of the first round against Edgar Berlanga. That's it. If you look at his losses and draws, Linnell Bellows, he's got like a couple split decisions, some majority decision draws and majority decision losses, maybe 1 or 2 unanimous decision losses. He gives a lot of his guys trouble. He puts his head down and just burrows in there, right? Gets hit with big shots, but he doesn't fucking budge, just like Vaughn Alexander, which is the brother of Devin Alexander, who was actually fighting tonight, by the way. So this is an intriguing fight only because I want to see if Linnell Bellows makes it past the second round, man. Quick, this should be quick. What do you think about this fight, Mike?
Knockout.
Oh, so you think he ain't gonna make it? So you think he ain't gonna make it to, what is it, 10 rounds?
The question is just win. For all hardcore heads like ourselves, they're positioning this guy as the next punching sensation in the middleweight division, almost like a Gerald McClellan, Julian Jackson a kind of guy. They're touting his knockout record. I've seen, to your point, the guy, he does look like kind of Vaughn Alexander and fights like him as well. That's the thing. I think it won't be the first round, but I think it'll happen in the first 5 rounds. The question is, if he goes beyond that, what kind of stamina he has, because he's been getting guys out so quick. I question his stamina. I question how much he's developed, but this is a guy to put in there to see how fast he can put this guy out, to see it's a test to see how hard of a puncher he really is. If he's hard as everybody says he is, hard of a puncher as everybody says he is, he should take this guy out. I'm not concerned if first round or not, because that's just not going to happen. He's just going to find a guy that's going to extend him. I think this guy will, but I think in the end, Berlanga will find a way to take him out.
What do you think about this, Bo?
I think this is Boutinas at super middleweight, because Boutinas was in a Dominican guy that nobody knocked out, and it was to see if Boots was the goods with his power. And I think that's what we got right here. I question the guys that this guy fought. What power did they have? Because if you got power where you're 30%, 14%, 20%, 50%, that's fine and dandy. This is a motherfucker with 100% knockout power. Right. Okay, this is a motherfucker with that game-changing power with boxing skills
in both hands.
And boxing skills. It ain't that Deontay Wilder shit, just no skill power. No, it's game-changing power and boxing skills. So for me, if he gets past the first round, that's because Berlanga wanted to get past the fucking first round.
Yeah. And when you look at Bellows' record, let's be clear now. Who has he really fought?
Exactly.
Nobody.
Thing.
Right. That's why I'm saying I wonder who he's fought in the power of them dudes. Because when you get in there with the real deal, and this is what we're going to find out. If Berlanga jumps on him, comes out, and he jumps him, throwing that jab, start clicking, going to the up and down of that body, I think this dude's
the first round, but
you going in and out, Mike.
I was saying, because of his record, I'm like, okay, this guy hadn't fought anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's why I say, because he hadn't fought anybody, I don't think he's fought anybody with real power. And because of that, he'll get knocked out. I don't think it'll be the first round, but he's going to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm going first round knockout. Fuck it.
So am I. I'm gonna throw it out there. First or second round. I'm gonna throw it out there, dog. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be, we'll see. If the guy gets out and he takes, Edgar Berlanga out 6, 7, 8 fucking rounds, then it's gonna be interesting to see how Berlanga adjusts to that. Is he gonna be a guy that actually depends on the first round knockout and looks like shit after the third round? Or is he going to be one of those guys that can maintain who he is, regardless if he gets you out of there in the first round, or if he gets you out of there in the 8th round? That's what we'll see if Bellows can do what is expected here and take him into deep waters. We'll find out, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We going to the motherfucker. Man, dog, man. I can't wait for this fight. Teofimo Lopez has been talking shit for years.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's been talking shit for years, right? Just like my man Cambo Blue said, let's see if Teo make it out the red pill. Exactly. I don't know. He's referring to the Matrix. Listen, man. Go to 3kingsboxing.com and check out an article that my man Bakari Simpson wrote. And the title of it is Teofimo Lopez, is he really ready for Vasyl Lomachenko? He wrote an excellent article and basically detailed some of the out-of-the-ring issues that Teofimo Lopez has been having recently. He's had a beef with his father that a lot of people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? And this directly correlates to that fight that he had with that Japanese cat. What's his name, Mike? Is Nakatani or some shit like that? What was his name, Mike?
Yeah, Nakatani.
Nakatani, right? Apparently, he admitted after the Nakatani fight that the reason why he looked so bad in that fight, which is the only fight that he's looked bad in his professional career, right, is because there was a beef between his newlywed wife and his family. They didn't accept the woman that he chose to be his wife, and that fucked with him as he went into the Nakatani fight. Well, we're hearing some of the same kind of things happening right now before the fucking Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Now, this situation has nothing to do with his girlfriend or his wife, or at least that's what we believe. They weren't really outright about what the beef really was. But at the end of the day, there was some tension between Teofimo Lopez Jr. and Sr., right? Now, here's the deal. One thing that Teofimo Lopez did admit to was that sometimes he's hung out to dry, right, in order to produce in a fashion in which he supports the shit talking that his dad does for him, right? Which means it's somewhat of a burden on him that his dad would talk so much shit to the point where he feels like, all right, I gotta perform this way in order to not make my dad look bad, in order to not kill my marketability, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is, to me, it's funny, and it's a red flag that he mentions this right before the Vasyl Lomachenko fucking fight, dog. I don't know, Bo. I'm not going to break it down. I'm going to let you do it. What do you think about that shit, Bo?
I think that's bad. That's a bad sign for a fighter going into the biggest fight of his life.
Yeah.
All right. That's a bad sign for a young fighter, too, going into the biggest fight. Understand something. His father has been out there talking so tough. Like Teofimo saying what he was saying, which was, I'm not he said, what he say? I'm not an opponent for Lomachenko. I'm a problem. That's fine. But his dad out there, he's gonna destroy this dude. He's gonna destroy. He don't anything he does, we beat him. We gonna destroy this dude. Right?
Oh,
right?
man.
He's put so much pressure on him that now the time is here. And then you got this other shit going on. That's not good for no fighter. Because mind you, I don't care who you are. I don't care how mentally tough you are. It is in the back of your mind. With the kind of talking you're doing, if I go out here, look bad, or even get beat bad, that's it. That's fucking it. Right? So he's going to have to go out here and at the very least put on a performance to where whether he loses, it's like, all right, man, you lost, but damn, dog, we can see the potential in you and you being the future of the sport of boxing somewhere down the line. I like this fight for this reason right here. Vasyl Lomachenko is fighting a young, hungry guy from an athletic standpoint, can keep up with him athletically, but not from a footwork standpoint.
Disagree, but go ahead.
Okay, not from a footwork standpoint. Teofimo Lopez has more power, but we've seen Lomachenko get up off the canvas. I
Right.
think that if he's the Lomachenko we saw, because he had 5 months to rest, if he's that Lomachenko that we saw when he was in that ring with Nicholas Walters, if he was in that ring with Sosa, if he's that Lomachenko, damn good fight. But if he's the Lomachenko that allowed all this shit to get into his head, and he wants to go out there to try to prove point, knock him out, and he's not showing us the movement that we used to seeing, that plays into Teofimo Lopez's hands. So excellent fight. I think for Teofimo Lopez, you got to come out. Guy's been off. He's older than you. He's been off longer. You got to come out and you got to jump on him right away. You can't let this dude get comfortable. So to try to pull like or Orlando Salido, but with more boxing skills, and just come at him. Lean on this dude. Get on him. Move side to side with him. Keep up with him and keep punches in his face. Don't allow him to dictate the pace and get off and continue to get off and get comfortable. You're going to have to make Lomachenko uncomfortable. You got to stay on him at all times. Don't give him a breathing room. You're the younger fighter. Use the fact that you're the younger fighter. Use the fact you're the more athletic fighter. Use your power. Hit arms, elbows. It don't fucking matter. Don't think. Just throw. Let it go. That's how you got to do with a guy like Lomachenko. But oh man, I got to go with Lomachenko on this one, man. I think Lomachenko wins the decision, man.
Mike, what do you think, man?
Mike dropped out.
Mike dropped off. All right, so here's the deal, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna put Mike back in and see if he can come in, man. I want him to go first. Mike, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
I think emotions are playing a role in both men. I don't know if you guys saw it, but ESPN been running a series of specials and previews of whatnot. And when Teofimo talked about his father and how their relationship is not the same, he broke down into tears. So that lets you know that's weighing on him. I don't like that from fighters in the lead up. And there's issues outside the ring in terms of Teofimo and people having issues with his marriage. They think he got married too quick. You saw that in the lead up to when he defeated Comey for the title. That's on one end. On the other hand, you saw the weigh-in today, and Loma was so pissed off. He broke social distancing protocol to get into Teofimo's face today. That lets you know that all this talk from Teofimo and his father has gotten into the skin. From that point up until ringside, one of the big keys for me is who handles the emotions of this fight better. Will Teofimo calm himself down once he enters the ring and focus on the fighting and stay disciplined? Will Lomachenko, who's known for his technique and his skill and his ability to think throughout the fight, he's considered to have one of the highest boxing IQs in all the sports, pound for pound. Can he collect himself or recollect himself and fight a disciplined fight and don't go outside of himself and possibly get caught? So for me, emotions played a role in both guys, and who can handle their emotions better tomorrow night is one of the keys.
Who you got?
I'm going with Loma. Yeah, he's pissed off, but I question whether Teofimo's father is an A-class trainer. Is it a case that or is it a case of right? Or is it a case that he just got a very talented son? I'm always wary when you have fathers with kind of quote unquote prodigies in there. Do they really know what to do? Can they really adjust? When things get thick, when shit hits the fan, what happens if Teofimo is not able to land power on this guy, and Loma is boxing his brains out and embarrassing the kid? how will the trainer act and how will the son act. Plus, for me, I just think that the rest kind of helped Lomachenko because he's the older fighter. I wonder if Teofimo was really. We all know he struggles with weight, but I wonder how his body how will he recoup physically enough by the time the fight ends, by the time he gets in the ring. Put all those factors together, I think Lomachenko is the naturally better boxer. I think he has the faster hands and, more importantly, the faster feet. And I think because of the experience, the boxing brain and know-how is there in ways that just it's not with Teofimo because he's still young. He hadn't developed that. I'm going with Lomachenko to win this fight and win this fight by decision.
There is a 9-year difference between these two, man. Teo's 23, Loma's 32. And typically when you see something like that, you almost always say, hey, man, that 30-something-year-old motherfucker, he's on his way out, man. I'm going to go with the young buck on this one, dog, right? That's why a lot of cats were going for Canelo over Floyd, besides the fact that he was bigger, right? Kind of the same situation here. Teofimo's bigger and he's younger, right? I'm going to tell y'all something, man. When it comes to fighters like Vasyl Lomachenko, Terrence Crawford, right? I'm going to throw Floyd Mayweather in there, even though he's on a different crop, but I can throw him in there, right? Fighters like that, it doesn't matter how old you are or how old they become. These guys are mentally the best fighters in the sport. Put it this way. These guys mentally are light years away from other fighters to the point where they can fight one way and it not be working and immediately change and adjust the way that they fight in the same round and make it work. Case in point, against Jorge Linares, got dropped, said, oh shit, hold up, got back up, possibly won the round, then turned around and knocked him the fuck out with a body shot to the liver, by the way. Difficult punch to land, right? Teofimo Lopez has one of the best boxing minds in the sport today, fam. Another thing that I will say to you guys is during this whole COVID-19 shit, Ukraine was not hit by it like we are in the United States.
You mean Vasyl Lomachenko?
All right, that's it. Did I say Vasyl?
No, you said Teofimo Lopez.
Sorry, Vasyl Lomachenko. Thank you for correcting me. With this whole Ukraine shit, they were over there still sparring in gyms, right? They didn't have the lockdown that we had here in the United States. So Vasyl Lomachenko was free to roam in the Ukraine and train the way he wanted to train and get the kind of sparring and training that he wanted to get as if it was pre-COVID-19. Meanwhile, you see Teofimo Lopez, this nigga's doing most of his training in his fucking garage. You know what I'm saying? That's where most of his training is at. You don't hear much of Teofimo Lopez doing sparring. Hell, it's going to be hard to find somebody who fights like a Vasyl Lomachenko or can at least emulate him. And then on top of that, you add the COVID-19 bullshit where they're actually not really doing much sparring. It's not much sparring being put in to the sport right now. So he's having to basically, besides his father being there, train himself for the biggest fight of his life, right? Also, there's two things that I kind of disagree with that Mike and Bo said. Mike had mentioned that this is going to be a fight where it depends on which fighter takes control of their emotions. Don't get it twisted based on what you saw in the weigh-in and think that Vasyl Lomachenko doesn't have his emotions in check. He always has his emotions in check. Think about how he was trolled for months by Guillermo Rigondeaux. And he stepped out of his shell a couple of times while being trolled and said, hey, I'll fuck you up. Stay your dumb ass down there at 126. I mean, at 122. I'll fuck you up. And then Rigo kept trolling. He said, fuck it. All right, bring your dumb ass up here. I'll fight you. Then in the interview they had with him, he's like, this is a meaningless fight. I mean, he said, when I beat the motherfucker, I'm not even going to count it. That's what he said. He has stepped out of his shell before. And then went in the ring and collected himself like none other. Easy work. So don't get it twisted, right? Vasyl Lomachenko is a guy that always has his mental collected. We don't know anything like that about Teofimo Lopez right now, We're going to find out, especially with him crying and shit before the fight. We're going to find out. The other thing I disagree with Bo, and Bo kind of cleaned it up a little bit for me, but he said the two guys match in athleticism. Absolutely not. There's a big difference in athleticism. The big difference is, and he cleaned it up, he said footwork. Teofimo Lopez is not in his garage practicing fencing techniques. Teofimo Lopez was not a part of the ballet. The nigga's no acrobat. I mean, the nigga could do a fucking backflip and give you a Fortnite dance, and that's it. The nigga's not fencing. Is that shit the Europeans do with them goddamn swords and shit or them sticks? It's all footwork. That's what fencing is about. That's all it is. Positioning yourself to get the advantage on your opponent. It's all footwork. This is what Dirk Nowitzki used to do. He used to fence all the time. That's why he had good footwork his whole 40 years the nigga played for the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? This is what the same technique Vasyl Lomachenko does for his footwork. And also was a ballet dancer and all that other gay shit, right? But that gay ass shit actually made him become one of the more tactical fighters in the game in terms of footwork. This motherfucker plays a whole nother game with his footwork, man. That puts you on a whole nother platform in terms of athleticism that Teofimo Lopez absolutely can't match. He's 100%, almost 100% flat-footed. And that was his problem against Nakatani. He was flat-footed as fuck. And then he had trouble adjusting to Nakatani, who was boxing primarily from the outside, right? Now, he made adjustments later on in the fight and started landing his counter punches. But that's all he was trying to set up the whole goddamn night. And Nakatani took advantage of that shit. And that's why he looked so good. Teofimo looked so bad, right? Man, I've always said it. I say it again. It's too soon. Kid's not ready.
Yep.
Man.
Nope, he's not.
Teofimo's a good fighter. I like him. But what has Teofimo Lopez done besides knocking out Richard Commey in the second round, which is excellent, excellent fight. Excellent win. I take nothing away from him on that. Nobody's knocked out Richard Commey. Nobody.
Agreed.
Knocked him out in the second round. Beautifully timed overhand right, knocked him the fuck out. Nigga got up and fell across it, just like Trevor Berbick, nigga. You know what I'm saying? When he got knocked out by Mike Tyson, got up, fell down on the other side of the ring, got back up and fell down on the other side. That's exactly what Richard Commey did, right? However, as I said in other shows, Richard Commey is a B- level fighter. You don't jump from Richard Commey and go to Vasyl Lomachenko. You go from Richard Commey to Rances Barthélemy. Robert Easter Jr., right?
Rances Barthélemy is a step down.
No, it's not. Former champions. These are former champions. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing.
You fight former champions, right? You build your resume a little bit. You go through some fucking adversity, more adversity than you did against Nakatani, right? Then you jump in there with a Teofimo Lopez. I got to applaud the kid. He wanted that fight. He asked for it, and he got it. Did something Tank Davis never fucking did. And even to this day, punk-ass Tank is over here. Yeah, I fight the nigga, 2028. Let me get the fuck out. Let me get this dumbass nigga out of here. Right? So Teofimo Lopez basically showed what being a real man is about to Tank. But you got to be business smart at the same time. And this is where I kind of agree with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather knows his protege. He knows Tank's not ready for Vasyl. He knew Tank wasn't ready for Vasyl at 130, and he knows he's not ready for Vasyl at 135. Case in point, when Tank Davis was talking shit on Twitter, guess what Floyd did right after that? He said, oh, I'm in negotiations with Bob Arum to get that Vasyl Lomachenko fight. And then Tank said, oh, shit, I'm sorry, boss. Mm-hmm. And then right after that, he said, oh, no, we're no longer talking. Tank's okay. He was getting ready to set that nigga up to take his first L. So at the same time, you got to be business smart. The problem with Teofimo is, dog, he got caught up in the bullshit, right? His dad is talking all this shit, right? He even mentioned to you that he is stuck with having to live up to the hype that his dad puts him at. So that's bullshit number one. Then you got bullshit number two, where Bob Arum is your promoter. Bob Arum don't give a fuck. He's like, shit, this is in-house money. Either one of you niggas win, I'm still getting paid. any one of you motherfuckers win, I'm still getting paid. So if you want to, get your ass embarrassed, be my guest. But if you end up winning, I can do a whole lot of shit with you. You see what I'm saying? So that's bullshit number 2. He didn't have anybody from a business perspective sitting him down and saying, hey, maybe you're biting off more than you can chew, bro. Got to be business smart. I love the fact that he had the fighter's mentality and wanted to fight Vasyl Lomachenko, who was the best ever since the nigga was only like 8-0, right? I love that. But at the same time, from a business perspective, you got to be smart about how you're handling yourself. And hopefully you got the right team that knows how to handle you, right? I don't think Teofimo Lopez got caught up in the bullshit. Like I said, I don't think he had the right team. So what's going to happen is he's going to go in there flat-footed, right? 2 things could happen. He can go in there flat-footed, try to maul him because he's the much bigger guy. I mean, Teofimo Lopez had to work his way down from like the 150 range to get to 135, right? Meanwhile, Vasyl Lomachenko like walks around at that fucking weight. He ain't got to work his way down at all. You look at the nigga when he got on the scale, it's funny, dog. The nigga just walked up to it. It's at 135 and he just hopped off like nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Tio was looking at the motherfucker. Shit, make sure I made this bitch. All right, I made it, bet. Vasyl walks around like that, man. Right? So at the end of the day, and Bo, go ahead and cycle those comments. At the end of the day, right? Tio's going to come in this motherfucking ring flat-footed. Much bigger means he's going to rehydrate a lot more, right? He could either try to wait and land a counterpunch, Danny Garcia style, which is going to end up him getting outboxed all over the place. I mean, he's going to be stuck in that 3-pointed triangle that Vasyl Lomachenko can put you in because of his footwork. And he's not going to know how to adjust to his footwork. And he's going to be sitting there waiting all night while he's getting tagged with shots, right? Trying to find a way to set up his counter shots or trying to find a way to set up a big punch. At times, you might even see Teofimo Lopez get sloppy because he's trying to find Vasyl Lomachenko in the ring. Then you got the other idea of him being like Salido, trying to maul him. Well, if you try to maul him, you don't really have the capabilities to fight like Orlando Salido. He doesn't fight like that.
Mhm.
So he's not going to be successful in trying to maul Vasyl Lomachenko because, number one, Vasyl's already seen that style. He's already lost to it and fought against it several fucking times. And if you watch the Salido fight, he was actually adjusting to it towards the end of the fight. If that was a 15-round fight, Vasyl Lomachenko beats Orlando Salido. Possibly stops him because he was beating his ass towards the end of that fight. He adjusted. And that was only, his second pro fight? We're talking about a Vasyl Lomachenko that is a fucking, 3-division champion? Right? There's nothing Teofimo Lopez can do to win this fight. He can't maul him. He doesn't have the experience. And Vasyl Lomachenko is too good in terms of his footwork, in terms of his adjusting, and in terms of his IQ, ring IQ. So he can't maul him. And then he can't wait. Because if he waits, he gets outboxed. He gets stuck in a 3-pointed triangle and can't move. I told you guys, the best way to beat Vasyl Lomachenko is to try to time where he's moving next. That's the best way. Jorge Linares, I didn't think was going to be able to do that. He did an excellent job of that, and that's how he ended up getting the knockdown. His footwork was excellent in that fight. Probably won't ever see Jorge Linares move like that ever again.
Oh, shit. Or before that fight.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He never did it before, and that's why we didn't think he was going to have that kind of success. And you definitely will never see him do it again. He won't be able to move like that again. Jorge Linares honed in on what we have been saying beats Vasyl Lomachenko for years. Besides what Orlando Salido did, right? You have to pinpoint where this nigga's going to be and try to move him out of that position with volume punching on top of that. And you can time Vasyl Lomachenko, but you have to time his footwork first. Then you can catch him. I don't see Tio being able to do that. Too flat-footed, feet are too slow, hands are fast, but feet are too slow. This is a footwork game, ladies and gentlemen. I got Vasyl Lomachenko, 7th round knockout.
Oh, Oh shit. Okay.
He gonna stop Teofimo Lopez, bro. He gonna stop him just like he stopped Nicholas Walters, even though Walters was 272 pounds when they fought, right? He gonna stop him like he did Guillermo Rigondeaux. He gonna stop him like he did Jason Sosa. He gonna stop him like he did Miguel Mariaga. You want to know why? Because the only thing that Teofimo Lopez has over those guys, realistically, as it pertains to Vasyl Lomachenko, is his youth. Guillermo Rigondeaux had the speed and the footwork. Couldn't get shit off. Nicholas Walters had the power. Couldn't touch him. Gary Russell Jr. had the power, the fucking hand speed, not the footwork, but he had the power and the hand speed and the combination punches, right? And he let some good shots here and there, but really got his ass beat. What the fuck is Teo going to bring that none of those niggas brought? What? Besides the fact that he's 23. What? So I'll wait. Somebody, please, somebody, I'll wait. What is he going to bring that none of the other fighters that Loma has fought brought into the ring? I'll wait. Seventh round knockout, dog. By the way, and this will go to, Bo and Mike. What's going to happen to Teo after he gets his ass whooped? What's going to happen?
That's my question because
see here. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say that's my question because this is how this pandemic hurt him. To your earlier point, 2K, because of this pandemic, he could have built himself up by having three tile defenses. Not only so he can learn, but also to build up his cachet outside of the ring. The question, so if he were to lose, people would still have him in his mind, and he wouldn't have as far to, put himself back up. Now he could lose. Where is he going to go? Because he can't make 135 anymore. You see the business being done at 140 right now with Taylor, with Taylor and Ramirez. What's going to be there left for him should he lose, especially if he gets embarrassed?
Right.
And outside of the ring, you think the situation is bad between him and his fathers now? Let Lomachenko beat his ass from pillar to post and stop him and see how the tension is going to be even that much more. How the divide is going to be even wider.
Right. My man, Sporting Advantage, he said, honestly, Teo brought confidence, then he cried. Guillermo Rigondeaux brought the utmost confidence, more confidence than any nigga can handle. Guillermo said, in Spanish, of course, not only will I beat your motherfucking ass, nigga, I'll move up 2 weight classes and beat your motherfucking ass. And still got mollywopped. To where the nigga faked the injury and quit.
Sure did.
Right.
He had a knuckle joint pain. Here's the thing, man. The reason why Teofimo Lopez was chasing Lomachenko, because he bought into his father telling him he was running out of time because he couldn't make the weight at 135. They know they're going to move up.
Right.
Well, they was going to move up to 140. They wanted to get this fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. Teo was struggling to make that 135. Now, the problem with that is that's never good when you're struggling to make weight against a guy like Vasyl Lomachenko that's always ready, pointing on weight. Why? I don't care how young you are. When you struggle to make weight, even when you make it, those effects will start affecting you as the fight goes on.
And he's facing a guy who does not get tired.
And he exactly, Mike. Right? That's number one. Now, here's my biggest concern, because you mentioned him crying. Right? What's going to happen when the fight's not going his way? Was not unfolding the way he wants to unfold. Instead of thinking on how to adjust, he's going to be worried about his father. He's going to be worried about what's going to be said about. He's a millennial. He's going to be worried about what's going to be said about me tomorrow. He's going to be worried about, oh shit, how much fun somebody going to make of me. Damn, is my wife going to give me some pussy tonight? Nope. Like he's a millennial. That's how they are.
But she
right?
not though.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he's a millennial. He's not going to be thinking what adjustments to make when it's not going his way. He's going to have too much shit on his mind to think that, right? As to where Lomachenko has shown us, he has nothing outside the ring fucking with him. He can solely concentrate on the fight. Hence why when Jorge Linares knocked him down, he got up, bad shoulder and all, made the fucking adjustments, won the fight. So if the fight gets in the trenches, I have more confidence in the mindset of Lomachenko than I do Teofimo Lopez.
So where was the comment? I wanted to. Here we go. My man, Neutral Natural. Good comment. Yeah. He said, defensively, Lomachenko need to be better than he was against Campbell, Linares, and Pedraza. Mike, what do you think about that, man?
Campbell, from a technical standpoint, he showed in that fight better than anything I've seen from Teofimo in any of his fights. So I slightly disagree.
Yeah. Listen, I get what he's saying. You know, but people don't understand. Campbell's a tall ass lightweight.
I was just going to say height.
Yeah, tall ass lightweight, long reach, and knows how to use it. And on top of that, knew he was. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. When guys are in fights that they are being told that they're probably going to lose, you know what I'm saying? And these are guys that have a high willpower, right? Like Luke Campbell, for example. Luke just wants to become champion one time before he retires. He doesn't give a fuck about the money, right? This is actually a guy you as boxing fans, you should support. He'll fight anybody. He doesn't care about the money. He just wants to be a fucking champion, right? He was a gold medal winner in the Olympics. Now he wants to carry that over into the pros and become a champion, right? And he's had 2 chances and he's lost both those chances. But he's got high willpower, which means you could tell this motherfucker, hey, man, the odds are, plus 8,700 for you, nigga, in this next fight, man. Nigga, you about to lose. He's going to be like, all right, man, I'm going to train much harder then. That's Luke Campbell. So you can't look at Luke Campbell's performance and project that onto a prediction that you'll have for Teofimo Lopez because, A, they don't fight the same. That's number 1. 2, they don't have the same dimensions, right? And 3, Luke Campbell is a accomplished fighter. Not saying that Teofimo Lopez is not accomplished because he is an IBF champion. All I'm saying is the biggest win on his record is Richard fucking Comey, right? After that is Diego Magdaleno, nigga. and then after that is fucking Mason Menard.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So he hasn't gone through adversity other than Nakatani, which, by the way, isn't even in the top 3 of the biggest names on his resume, by the way. But he goes through adversity for that against that guy. But he hasn't gone through adversity in terms of fighting a top contender, almost being there, losing, or having trouble in that fight, right? And it's for a title. See, Luke Campbell has much more to lose than Teofimo Lopez. Why am I saying that? Because Teofimo Lopez, realistically, given how mentally stable he is, he could lose. He can get knocked out by Vasyl Lomachenko in the first round, motherfucking Erickson Lubin style, and still come back up because he's only 23 years old, right? We're seeing that with Erickson Lubin now. This nigga got knocked out by Jermell Charlo in the first round, has now worked his way back up in the WBC rankings, and is now the mandatory for the same person. Teo can do the same shit because you only lost to the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, number 2 or number 3, wherever you put him. At the end of the day, Loma's a top fucking 5 pound-for-pound fighter. You just lost to him, just like when Canelo lost to Floyd. Well, nigga, you lost to the greatest fighter of this fucking era. So now Canelo brought himself up. Now he's the untouchable figure he is today. Teofimo can do the same shit. Luke Campbell cannot. Luke Campbell's 35 years old, I believe. So this motherfucker got a hell of a lot more to lose. He got to win fights that come his way. Nigga, he has to beat Ryan Garcia. If he doesn't, he might not get another title shot. You see? So Luke Campbell's going in there with all of that in mind and trying to give a performance of his fucking life. It's not the same scenario with Teofimo, dog. Same thing with Linares, who is also an older fighter. And with Pedraza, I don't see what everybody saw with Pedraza. I didn't have no problem with how Lomachenko looked against Pedraza. It's no secret Lomachenko gets hit, right? But Lomachenko is excellent at moving that you can't really hit him too flush. And Lomachenko's chin is underrated. You take a shot. You got to time him. When you time him and he doesn't know the shot's coming, like when Linares knocked him down, that's when you can get him. That's when he may, legs might buckle, he'll go down. But then you got to worry about that man again when he gets up because he can adjust to what you just did, right? But Pedraza, I don't understand. I thought he whooped Pedraza's ass. Easy work, 11-round knockout. I don't know. But what do you think about this, bro?
Here's the thing, man. People are forgetting one thing about Luke Campbell. Prior to getting to Vasyl Lomachenko, he fought Yvonne Mendy and Jorge Linares. So he had a chance to learn. He had a chance to figure out adjustments. He had a chance to figure out, hey, this is what I need to do in a championship fight before getting to Vasyl Lomachenko.
You got to add the caveat. He fought Yvonne Mendy, and which was a rematch of a loss.
Yep, exactly.
That is a major important component there.
You're right about that. You're right about that. Absolutely right. So when a guy like that sees that level, of course, when he gets in there with Vasyl Lomachenko, he's going to have more success because he's just not some dude that's a prospect. He's a dude that has seen the level not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times.
Yep.
Okay? That's number one. Hell, watch how he fought Linares. He gave Linares trouble as the fight started going on. Okay? Yep. Right? So, and Luke Campbell, from a ring IQ standpoint, is smarter than Teofimo Lopez. Y'all might get mad at me for saying it, but he is.
Hence no doubt about it. He is. Look at the way he's. You can tell he did some serious study by the first 7, 8 rounds of that fight. Look how competitive it was.
Absolutely, Mike. 100%.
And the fact that he hurt Loma in that fight too, you can tell he did some serious studying in that fight. You can tell that his boxing acumen is superior at this point than Teofimo. Teofimo had been around long enough to really learn anything. He just talented.
But Mike, the same thing with Jorge Linares. You can tell that he did some studying. Why? Because we saw how good his footwork was for that fucking fight. So he did some studying. Jorge Linares he's a fucking champion. He's a multiple division champion. He's worked himself up to be a top level fucking fighter. So when a guy like that, he had hand speed, he had ring IQ. Only thing he was missing was the footwork. So he worked on that. So he gave Vasyl Lomachenko some problem. Why? Because he's up there on that level and he did the studying. And again, the ring IQ is very important. Teofimo Lopez does not have that. Now, at the end of the day, right? Because I know a lot of y'all are going to say, well, because my man Prodigy mentioned how Lomachenko is older. But he's not a worn down older fighter. Remind you, Lomachenko didn't turn professional until he was 28 years old. So his body is still well preserved. He's not like he's an old 33-year-old that's been through a lot of shit. No, that's not what it is.
Well, but what's the reason for that? Here's the deal. He's got over 400 some amateur fights. Yep. But the nigga only has, I believe, 1 amateur loss.
Yep.
Right. So these are amateur fights where he's whooping everybody's ass. Like literally whooping everybody's motherfucking ass. Nobody's coming close. That does put wear and tear, even though you're winning the fights, it puts wear and tear on your body. But at the end of the day, it's much, much, much less wear and tear than if you're a 28-year-old amateur turning pro and you've got like 60 losses compared to just 1.
Exactly.
And you can't put enough importance on the fact that the layoff due to the pandemic, I think, will ultimately help. And the fact that he was able to keep up a pretty consistent training and sparring schedule. Throughout this, while other fighters in parts of the world like us, like fighters from the U.S. could not.
Yeah, no, but Mike, it's a little bit more than that, right? There was no disruption in his ability to prepare for a fight.
No.
That's the key point right there. Everybody needs to understand. There was no disruption in Lomachenko's ability to prepare for a fight. He's the same way he prepares for every fight. There was no disruption. There's disruption in the way Teofimo Lopez had prepared for a fight. Let me just say something, because I heard some cats that talking about something. Well, Luke Campbell is in camp with Teofimo Lopez. He's helping him prepare for Vasyl Lomachenko. How? Luke Campbell don't fight like him. How? That doesn't help him.
The only thing Luke Campbell can possibly do is prepare Teofimo Lopez for a fight with Lomachenko on the outside. But Lomachenko don't stay on the outside. He actually rarely does that. He likes to be at mid-range distance so he can keep you in that triangle. Mm-hmm. So actually, that's not the right fighter to prepare him for Vasyl Lomachenko.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's and if he's preparing to be on the outside, well, that's not even Teofimo Lopez's game. He'll look awkward out there. That's not even his game. I mean, how many times have you ever seen Teofimo Lopez just jab a motherfucker to death for a whole round? See what I'm saying? So Luke Campbell can just tell him, "Hey, man, this is probably what you need to do." I've said this before. There are certain things that in training camp you can't prepare for. When Andre Ward was fighting Kovalev, I said Kovalev would never find nobody to help him prepare for that IQ Andre Ward, and Ward would never find nobody prepared for that punching power.
Man, those were the two easiest predictions I've ever made. Like, I say that shit all the time, but fuck it, nigga. Right? Like, the first fight was a good fight. A lot of people thought Kovalev won. A lot of people thought Andre Ward won. At the 11th round, I said Ward needs to win the 12th round, and he did. And he won the fight. Right? But the reasons why he won is exactly what you just said, Bo. Sergey Kovalev got him early, but then could not adjust to Andre Ward's adjustment.
Yep.
We might see the same thing. You might see Teo catch Vasyl early, right? Vasyl get knocked down, get back up and adjust, right? And then Teo can't make the fucking adjustment to his adjustment. That's going to be the problem. Why? Because he doesn't have the experience. There's either which way you fold this motherfucker, there is a Teofimo loss on the goddamn result. That's it.
I'm just curious to see what's going to happen when it gets into the trenches and it's not going his way from a mental standpoint. What's going to happen to Teofimo Lopez? If Teofimo gets Lomachenko hurt early, you better stay on him. Don't let it get out the round, because for all of y'all that's buying into, Lomachenko was out of character. Okay, fine. I'll just go with that, just for the sake of argument. Let's say Lomachenko was out of character and he comes at him. If Teofimo hurts him and Loma gets out that round, do you think Lomachenko's not going to change up the game plan come the next round?
Teofimo's his main chance in this fight. Oh, my bad, but I thought you
Hold on. No problem. As a matter of fact, do y'all think Papa Lomachenko gonna let his son go in there all fucked up in the head like that? I'm just asking that question. When's Papa Lomachenko ever let anybody go in the ring with a fucked up mentality?
That's why the tandem is so good. You got a fighter that has a great boxing acumen, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent ring IQ, and then his goddamn trainer has the same kind of ring IQ from the outside. He can train his fighter to prepare his fighter for whatever fucking matchup comes, and he trains him to optimal performance.
Yep,
that's a problem you got. And like I said, I think niggas is sleeping on. They're gonna sleep on when they listen to this video. They're gonna sleep on what I said about COVID-19. So I'm gonna mention it again. Mike already mentioned it. Bo said it too. I'm gonna mention it again. When you are allowing Vasyl Lomachenko to have no problems preparing for you in a 12-week training camp, meanwhile you have restrictions in your country trying to prepare for him in a 12-week training camp, that is a major handicap in Lomachenko's favor. Mm-hmm. Major, bro.
Think about this.
Go ahead.
I was just saying the MVP in Lomachenko versus Rigo was Papachenko. Why? Because he told the ref in the dressing room, "Yo, man, watch out for that boy's holding. Watch out for that dude's holding. Watch out for that dude's holding."
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happened? The ref was on Rigo from that point on, and Rigo was like, "Oh shit!" And Lomachenko was selling it, like putting his hands up, he was selling it.
Right.
So Mike made a good point about the corners. I don't know if from a boxing standpoint, that the father IQ is good enough to compete with Lomachenko's father.
My man says, he says, so the question becomes, what does Lopez have to do to win? Go ahead, Mike. You were going to answer that.
Hurt him early and jump on him and pounce.
Absolutely.
That's his only chance. That's his best chance, because
but
he can't outbox him.
How does he hurt him though?
What you mentioned about foot positioning, using his brain to outthink Loma, figure out his next move, and then have a punch for the next move. And Lopez has enough power in both hands, if he was able to do that, to hurt Lomachenko and put him down. And then once he put him down, try the best to take him out. Either that or find a way to get to Lomachenko's body early and often with shots to try to wear him down. But the problem is with Lomachenko, his footwork is so expert, you can't catch him with the same punch twice. If you get him with that one punch, you better take advantage, because you're not going to get him with that again. And he's not going to put himself in a position to get hit with that punch again. And because the analogy between his dad and his dad trainer fighter, Belichick Brady. We all know how good Tom Brady is as a QB, right? Mm-hmm. What made him the possibly greatest of all time is because of Belichick.
Exactly. Yep.
Magic Johnson, Pat Riley. We all knew Magic was a special talent from his days in college. What made Magic overcome, particularly when it came to Larry Bird, facing him in the 80s, was Pat Riley. Lomachenko's dad, and you can see it with either his son or with Usyk, Lomachenko, he has the ability to see things in there, to think 10 steps ahead, right? Or a step ahead. Much in the same way Larry Bird did as a player. He could see the pass before the opening was even there. LeBron can do that too, to a certain extent. Lomachenko can do that in the ring, and Papa Lomachenko can do that outside the ring. Put that combination together with the will of the fighter and the know-how of the trainer outside the ring. It's a tough toe to hold. It's going to be tough to beat. And Lomachenko, and particularly his dad, that's why I raised the questions about him. I just don't think at this point that both father, trainer, or the trainer, especially Lomachenko's, Lopez's father, I just don't see it in him at this point. I just don't.
Yeah. The only thing I disagree with that analogy you made with Magic Johnson was you said it was Pat Riley that made him a better player, the greatest player of all time. I disagree with that. It was Jerry Buss, because that nigga had all them bitches around Magic. That motherfucker wasn't he outward? He was outward and saying, yeah, me and Magic used to go to the strip clubs all the time. He took them everywhere. Magic was fucking bitches out of this world. So I ended up with AIDS. But anyway, my man Eric R said, 2K, do you think Nicholas Walters is more skilled than Teofimo? Yes. That's an easy one. Nicholas Walters had beaten a more formidable opponent, right, than Teofimo Lopez did in Nonito Donaire. And then that Nicholas Walters that fought Nonito Donaire was one of the guys that we were looking at possibly becoming a pound-for-pound fighter if he kept going down that path. Problem was he pissed off Bob Arum and got shelved.
Yep.
That was the problem. Now, here's a question you want to ask me, Eric. Do I think Nicholas Walters, at the time he fought Vasyl Lomachenko, is more skilled than Teofimo? Answer is no. That's the question you want to ask me. Because Nicholas Walters weighed 316 pounds when he fought Vasyl Lomachenko. We know this, right? I'll never forget the goddamn press conference or whatever. He did an interview, and the nigga was fat as fuck, bro. I could have sworn I seen a bag of Cheetos in his lap while he was giving the fucking interview. Nigga was every bit of 222 pounds, man. Talking about, yeah, man, I'm coming back this October or December, I think it was. I'm fighting Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm looking at this nigga like, damn, nigga, that's 8 weeks away. How the fuck are you going to lose 200 pounds in 8 weeks? You know what I'm saying? That's some Oprah type shit right there. Nigga, that's some Luther Vandross type shit. Luther Vandross used to be 200 pounds on Tuesday. Wednesday, nigga, 175. How the fuck did he do that? That's what he did. So at the end of the day, man, Nicholas Walters is a more skilled and experienced fighter than Teofimo Lopez. But at the time that he fought Vasyl, I don't think he is. But at the end of the day, Nicholas Walters still brought things to the ring that Teofimo Lopez does the same way, right? And Vasyl Lomachenko was easily able to nullify that. And others on top of Nicholas Walters. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm gonna answer that one question real quick from Sess, where he's saying, what does T.O. got to do to win? I agree 100% with Mike. He's got to hurt Loma early. The only way T.O. wins this fight is if he knocks Loma out. He will not be able to outbox Vasyl Lomachenko for 12 rounds. He will not. 100%, absolutely no. And that's, again, I don't understand why his handlers are not telling him this. Maybe they are telling him this. Who fucking knows? Maybe they understand the same concept that I understand. Hey, if you lose this fight, it's a win-win, right? You fight him, you win. Man, you're the biggest name in boxing. You fight him, you lose. Well, we got paid, and you just lost to one of the biggest names in boxing, so we can just easily recoup our career. Maybe that's what they're thinking. The Canelo effect, right? Maybe that's what they're thinking. And that's why they're not telling him, hey, man, we got to knock this motherfucker out. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they know it's a win-win situation for T.O. So he's got to knock him out, and it's got to be within 5. If I see the 5th round, I'm like, damn, this about to be over. This fight about to be over. If I see the 5th round, it's about to be over. He's got to knock him out early. He's definitely, as I mentioned earlier in the show, he's got to time Vasyl Lomachenko starting with the feet, right? Then you time him to the head or to the body with counter shots. And then if you catch him with a counter shot, you got to come right behind that. You can't counter him, step back and be like, damn, nigga, I got this motherfucker, boy. Can't do that. You got to counter the nigga, catch him, follow up immediately, jump on him immediately. Don't let the nigga recover. If you get him up against the ropes, jump on him immediately. Don't let him recover. If you get caught with a counter, fuck it, nigga. You know, it's part of the war. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You go to war, you get shot in the leg sometimes, nigga. Fuck it. But if you get him on the ropes, jump in there immediately. You're bigger, bully him on the ropes. You know, do what Ivan Drago did to motherfucking goddamn, what's his name?
Apollo Creed, son.
Apollo Creed. What he did to Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed tried to move. This nigga grabbed this nigga, pulled him back. Get the fuck back over here, nigga. That's what you got to do to Vasyl. If he try to pull some angle and shit to try to get away from the ropes, grab that motherfucker and put him right back in front of you. Referee gonna say, hey, you can't do that. Fuck him. But at the end of the day, bro, you got to keep this dude in front of you. And if you get him up against the ropes, if you're so lucky to get him up against the ropes, oh my God, bro, you got to jump on. Nigga, you might need to do a goddamn Saget from Street Fighter 2 knee kick at this nigga or something, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You might want to throw a Muay Thai knee to this nigga's chest just to keep him there. Got to bully him 100%. Or he's going to dance all around you. So that's what he has to do. And it has to be within 5 rounds. If he lets Loma get past 5, fight is fucking over. 100%, man.
The problem that I have is if Teofimo Lopez team, because I don't think his team is telling him, if you lose to him, fuck it, we can rebuild your career, because his father's putting all the eggs in one basket. His father's talking like if they beat Lomachenko, they ain't got to do nothing for the rest of his career. Because I remember talking to him, asking him that. Right. He said, you know, they're not Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, fuck all of them. Right? We beat this dude. If he loses, because of the amount of pressure, because of the amount of talking that's been going, especially if he gets knocked out. Right. The fact that he was crying, talking about his father, that's mental instability to me, that if he loses, I don't know if he does rebuild his career. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the only thing that I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah. Hopefully there's somebody in his corner talking to him other than his fucking dad. You got somebody that's more reasonably minded that's basically saying, hey, this is the situation. We're your team. We think you're going to win. However, you have this problem here, right? So hopefully they're doing that, right? Because it keeps his mental state intact, and he's preparing for the right things, right? Mm-hmm. My man Eric Gar said if Teofimo win, he'll probably never fight Haney or Tank. He'll use the win over Loma as a way to stay away from them other young guns. Well, he already mentioned win or lose, he's moving to 140. Right. So the person that would follow him is more than likely Devin Haney, even though Tank weighs like 180 pounds fight night and shit. But it'll probably be Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? That goes up to 141st. But I mean, at the end of the day, I agree though. Let's say theoretically he does stay at 135. Yeah, he would keep them belts. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm not fighting y'all niggas. I want some of the better names. He's not fighting Devin. We already know that. He's already made it clear he don't want to fight Devin.
Yeah.
He made that clear. You know what I'm saying? He's over there laughing at Devin like, nigga, you getting given belts, man. You know, you didn't win that title.
Email
you got to get, you're a paper champ. You got to get your weight up, man. He's already telling Devin that shit, right? I do see him fighting, if he, let's say, theoretically stayed at 135. I can see him fighting possibly a Tank Davis. If Tank beats Leo Santa Cruz, I can see that fight happening. However, I don't think Floyd Mayweather makes that fight. I can also see him fighting maybe a Ryan Garcia, at least wanting to fight those fights. I don't think De La Hoya makes that fight. So to be perfectly honest with you guys, the right move may be for him to go to 140 because I don't think he can get the fights he wants anyway. Right. Devin Haney is probably the only open fighter, but he don't want to fight him.
Right. But he can't make. He's not staying. His father already said his son's having too hard of a time making weight.
Yeah.
So he's not staying.
Wait to for Taylor and Ramirez to fight because the winner probably be both of those guys and be moving up to 147 within the next year or so. So yeah, wait till they figure that out, and then go up there and see if he can win the title of junior welterweight.
Exactly, man. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add before we get the fuck up out of here?
Hell no. Just be ready to watch us come on this motherfucker after the fight, goddammit.
Oh yeah, man. It's gonna be one of them streams, 2:00 in the morning. We coming back. It's gonna be Sunday morning, right after the fight. We gonna be on this motherfucker talking that shit. Let me tell y'all something, man. We give predictions. We tell you why each fighter should, what they got to do to win fights, right? That's one thing we always do. Predictions don't mean shit.
No,
At the end of the day, we break the fight down and tell you, okay, there's fighter A and fighter B. I think fighter A wins. However, fighter B could win if he does this. That's what matters to us, the breakdown. If we tell you guys Teofimo Lopez needs to stay on top of Vasyl Lomachenko and get him out of there within 5, and he does that, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck that I said Vasyl knocks him out in 7. I'm happy that he did what I said he needed to do, right? And got the win. So at the end of the day, that's what matters. If Teofimo Lopez goes out there and beats Vasyl Lomachenko, that's one bad motherfucker, and I won't be able to wait to get on here and say how bad of a motherfucker he is. And that's real talk.
I'm gonna get on here and clown the fuck out of Devin Haney because you let motherfuckers take food off your plate.
Tank. I'm clowning Tank.
Oh hell yeah, Tank too.
Because we've still been calling this nigga out for shit since 1:30. I'm clowning Tank. Devin put himself in a precarious situation when he signed with Matchroom, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting Tank's ass because Tank had an opportunity to get that fight multiple times and didn't take it. So and now, like you said,
WBA super regular.
Nope, ain't no super
regular champion. You the little nigga up on the Lomachenko.
You little nigga, dog. Man, you a little nigga, dog. You like Big Brother come out and he give you some candy and shit. Here you go, man. Had a bag of Skittles I got, man, just for you, son.
Right. hey, you pull that Boys in the Hood shit when he's like, hey man, mom wants you to go to the store. No, nigga, she told you. Oh man, pow, he hit that nigga. No, nigga, he told you, pow, he punched that nigga in the face, take your ass off.
Get your ass on the store, go get some goddamn cornmeal, Tank. What's wrong with you, nigga? Need some cornmeal, nigga. We got these catfish we need to fry, nigga. That's what Loma said. Your big ass in the store, nigga. Matter of fact, a nigga knocked on the door, right? Tell me what movie this is. A motherfucker knocked on the door. Everybody's sitting there here to knock. They wake up the nigga that's asleep. Hey, man, answer the motherfucking door, man. That's what he gonna do to Tank. That's Menace to Society. Remember they had that punk ass nigga Chauncey. Hey,
Chauncey,
nigga, answer the door, nigga.
Answer the door, nigga.
That's what they do to Tank right now, 135. Man, you got Devin Haney sitting there. You got Vasyl Lomachenko sitting there. You got motherfucking Teofimo Lopez sitting there. And then you got Tank fat ass over there asleep. Nigga knock on the door. They kick Tank in the leg. Nigga, get your bitch ass up and answer the door, nigga. At 135, Tank is faggot ass Chauncey. That's who he is. I'm just saying, bro. Get the fuck up out of here, man. Be ready for us to come back tomorrow, late night. Like I said, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever that fight card ends. We're going to be in that motherfucker talking about all the fights and definitely the winner of Lopez, Lomachenko. Excellent fight. Can't wait to fucking see it. But before that, y'all already know, go to 3kingsboxing.com for your source of pure, unadulterated boxing information. Follow us on Twitter at 3kingsboxing, Instagram at 3kingsboxing, Facebook.com/3kingsboxing, man. So shout out to my man Mike Wilson. He is a writer, senior writer for 3kingsboxing.com. You can easily go check out his work. Motherfucker got over, 800, 700 articles, something like that. Serious work he's putting out there. Check out all his shit. Authentic. My man knows his boxing, as you heard him on here. He's also the host of Pound for Pound Boxing Report. That's a YouTube channel. Go over there and follow him. Check his content out. Talks good boxing. Got some good people on there with him as well. But as y'all know, after tomorrow night, don't look for us again for like another week. We're going to come back for the post-fight. But after that, we don't know when the fuck we coming back. Just look for that goddamn post on Facebook. Look for that goddamn post on YouTube that says, oh, shit, them niggas going live at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific, and that's when we'll be back. But for tomorrow, we will be back 2 in the morning. Don't forget. Until then, we out there.